What is the point of making a move if I'm not winning the game I'm playing? Or getting what I want in general? Many of the things we do might feel meaningless. Yes, some of them are meaningless, but some are just seem meaningless. But in reality, they are the determining factors whether you win or lose. As a believer of karma, I believe every move you do actually contributes to whether you win or lose. Even not making a move is a move. But how do we know which moves are the correct ones and which ones are not? To understand that, we are going to rely on Enneagram. Even though the origin of Enneagram is still in discussion today, we can still examine it and learn many things about ourselves. Enneagram is a personality model that categorizes you based on what kind of trauma affected you as a child, which shaped your needs as an adult or young adult. Enneagram says your trauma-based needs can be grouped into 9 main categories, which are numbered 1 to 9. If our needs can be categorized, then shouldn't that mean the things that fulfills those needs can be categorized in the same manner? And doesn't that mean those things are rewards for our actions? And if all these things are true, can we use it to define payoffs we get in other areas in our lives as well, even in games? Okay, let's start examining these Enneagram types. Enneagram 1 is your desire for perfection, which means as you start to fit into the situation, your levels of 1 will increase. Enneagram 2 is your desire to be needed, which means as you invest and connect with people, your levels of 2 will increase. Enneagram 3 is your desire to progress, which means as you acquire tools and achievements, your levels of 3 will increase. Enneagram 4 is your desire to be recognized, which means as you start to shine with your uniqueness, your levels of 4 will increase. Enneagram 5 is your desire to know, which means as you gather information, your levels of 5 will increase. Enneagram 6 is your desire for security, which means as you take precautions and insurances, your levels of 6 will increase. Enneagram 7 is your desire for freedom, which means as you increase your options, your levels of 7 will increase. Enneagram 8 is your desire for control, which means as you increase your ability to affect the game, your levels of 8 will increase. And Enneagram 9 is your desire for peace, which means as you eliminate threats, your levels of 9 will increase. And can you add another desire you have that cannot be explained by these 9 categories? If you do, let me know in the comments below. So, every move we make changes these levels one way or another. And every time we make a move to get one Enneagram type, we can also get one or both of the types that are right next to them. That means if I am making a move to increase my levels of 5, I can also increase my levels of 4 or 6. And those are called wings. But what are these levels? These are called levels of development. Every Enneagram type has 9 levels of development. First 3 levels are called healthy levels. Level 1 is called the level of liberation, which means you are the authority in this area, and your levels of this type can even help your other needs as well. Level 2 is called the level of psychological capacity, which means you can act as you wish in this area. Level 3 is called the level of social value, which means you are getting recognized in this area. Next 3 levels are called average levels. Level 4 is called the level of social role, which means you are satisfying your needs in this area. Level 5 is called the level of interpersonal control, which means it's up to you where you are going. Also, in symmetrical games, this is the level you start with in all areas. Level 6 is called the level of overcompensation, which means you are working with less resources, so you have to be efficient. And the final 3 levels are called unhealthy levels. Level 7 is called the level of violation, which means this area you neglected started to hinder your actions. Level 8 is called the level of obsession and compulsion, which means you have to defend this base, otherwise it will be really hard for you to recover. And finally, level 9 is called the level of pathological destructiveness, which means you have lost control in this area and you have to rely on your other areas in order to survive. But what do we do when we reach either level 1 or level 9? That's where growth and stress paths comes in. Growth means your levels of Enneagram are now ready to grow and help other areas. This diagram shows which Enneagram type grows into. Stress means your levels of Enneagram need to rely on another. And this diagram shows which Enneagram type drains which one if they have to. But what happens if your stress path is also empty? Then you have to find outside assistance and start draining your growth path resources in a safe environment and try to rebuild. This is called blind spot path. Oh wait, if this applies to stress path, what happens if my growth path is also full? Then extra resources from both the core and the growth type are channeled into your stress path. And that is called converging path, which means you are killing it. But it doesn't end there. All these resources can be acquired in 3 ways. You either have to improve yourself, change your position in the current situation, or change how you relate to others. And these are called self-preservation, social, and sexual, also known as one-to-one, respectively. They are instinctual variants. But do we actually need all these levels to be high in order to function? No, we don't. We only need 3 of them to be high and rest of them to not suck. That's where centers of intelligence comes in. Centers of intelligence divides the 9 Enneagram types into 3 groups. These groups are heart, mind, and body-gut group. Heart group types are Enneagram 2, 3, and 4. They are what keeps you going and stay relevant in the game. Mind group types are Enneagram 5, 6, and 7. They are the ones that helps you find your way and prevent future problems. Body-gut group types are Enneagram 8, 9, and 1. They are how you keep affecting the world and dealing with current problems. When you are building a strategy, you choose one type from each center and build your strategy around taking and spending those resources. This is also another resource topic called 3 types. But I'm not gonna dive into that as of now, because most things we'll learn here will be enough for us. Okay, back to topic. For example, my favorite and comfort strategy is 4-7-8, which means I always try to find a unique position to stay relevant in the game, increase my options to avoid problems, and affect the world by controlling it. Now, let's go into the designing part. First of all, utilize instinctual variants to challenge your players on 3 fronts. First one is self-preservation part, which means you have to challenge your players' ability to adapt themselves to deal with negative effects. Second one is social part, which means you have to challenge your players' ability to understand their role in your encounters. And third one is one-to-one part, which means you have to challenge your players' ability to relate to other factors. Your game has to have rewards for all 9 Enneagram types, meaning any of their action that leads to one of those 9 payoffs should be rewarded. For Enneagram 1, make sure there are multiple ways of doing things, and some are better than others. That'll make them find the perfect solution and feel satisfied. For Enneagram 2, make sure they can invest in other factors, and it will be returned to them with interest. That'll make them invest into other players or game systems to get an interest. For Enneagram 3, make sure that your players' hard work towards achieving things in your game are rewarded. That'll make them chase after secret buffs and hidden weapons. For Enneagram 4, make sure that your players' uniqueness can be utilized. Like for real, if you are giving them jetpacks, don't punish them for using them. That'll make them feel unique and gives a feeling of power. For Enneagram 5, make sure that your players can gain more or better information and reward them for doing so by secret laws or mechanics. That'll make them discover your game's deeper mechanics or lore. For Enneagram 6, make sure that your players can increase their consistency and security. Creating insurance mechanics such as extra lives, catch-up mechanics, or good checkpoints are a great ways to do that. That'll make them take risks much more easily. For Enneagram 7, make sure your players have freedom to act in your encounters. Let them discover your encounters and come up with new solutions. That'll make them feel that they have agency. For Enneagram 8, make sure they always have a way of dealing with problems and don't challenge them with impossible. Or at least show them that it's up to them to overcome that challenge. That'll give them responsibility for their actions. And for Enneagram 9, make sure they can take breaks and neutralize some of the problems. That'll give them a way to catch their breath and get away from chaos a little. Difficulty of a game is about how easy for them to get these resources and how much they should be spending it in order to overcome encounters. One final tip is make sure that your players can finish your encounters by any combination on each of the 3 centers of intelligence. For example, if a player wanna rely on information alone, they don't have to use any insurances or abundance of options for Mind Center. Now, as long as you have all these 9 payoffs, and make sure that they only need one of them for each center of intelligence, you will have 27 different ways to finish your encounters by just designing 9 payoffs. Let's summarize what we learned. All our needs can be defined by 9 categories. These needs can be used to understand the payoffs we get from our actions. There are 3 challenges that awaits us, which are self-preservation, social, and sexual, aka 1-to-1. There are 3 subcategories of our needs, which are called centers of intelligence. Our strategies only needs to focus on getting one resource from each center. And we can use all of these to design satisfying encounters for all players. Hello. First of all, if you reached this part of the video, thank you for your support and best of luck on your journey. What do you think? Do you agree with what I told you? Or can you tell me what you prioritize more? And if you like this video, I know you are smart enough to like and subscribe. By hitting the like button and subscribing to this channel, you can show me that you want more videos from me. Also, if you want me to dive into another subject, just let me know in the comments below. And thanks for watching.